It's America's 250th birthday party on July the 4th, and people all across the country will be attending potluck parties to celebrate. What's a potluck party? Well, it's where everybody going to the party takes along a dish, and that saves the host preparing all the food. So all of it is placed together on the table, and you get some quite diverse and surprising dishes on the table. Sometimes some very surprising dishes on the table. My first potluck party was when I came here, when I first arrived in the United States. And I was invited along and told, yeah, you need to bring a dish. And I made Princess Diana's bread and butter pudding. And word got around that I was a chef and who I used to cook for. And within seconds, my dish had gone completely. Everyone was taking big spoonfuls of it. They wanted to try Princess Diana's bread and butter pudding. Me, I got my plate and I started walking around the table, and all these eyes were on me. Everyone was looking. And I'd take a spoon and I could see them saying, he's trying my food. The chef is trying my food. And oh, he's taking more of my sister's food than mine. I don't like potluck parties. Anyway, digressing, it's America's birthday, America's party, America's desserts. So what am I going to make? Chocolate brownies? No, done those, check out the video. Cheesecake? No, done that, check out the video. What else? Chocolate cookies? No, done those, check out the video. All fantastic videos. If you love those, check out my video and you can make them for your July the 4th party. Strawberry shortcake. Now that is America's iconic dessert, and strawberries are in season. Now we're talking, now we've got a fantastic dessert. Now my strawberry shortcake, I use biscuits, and my biscuits are just big and light and fluffy and yummy and buttery and sweet. They're just the best biscuits. Few ingredients go in there together. Some macerated fresh strawberries and some cream, lots of cream, lots and lots of whipped cream. Start off with some flour, all-purpose flour, plain flour in the UK. Into there I'm going to put some baking powder and then some sugar and salt, and then my butter. I'm using unsalted butter and it's being softened, so at room temperature. And then I'm going to put my hands in there and work all of this butter into the flour mixture, because I want to make little fine breadcrumbs. And the best way to do this is not on the food processor, but actually to do it by hand. Look, watch the process. Lift up the mix and then rub your thumbs across your fingers, and you can see I'm rubbing that fat into the flour. By having your fingers in there, yeah, you've got to wash your hands first, come on, you know the rules, but by actually having your hands in there, you can feel any lumps of butter. And so, you know, some say, well, get the butter cold, put it in the food processor. I still say this is the best way. And when I'm making scones, my scone recipe, yep, we have a video. I think it's the first one on the channel, so you can watch that one too. Scones are a lot different to biscuits. I'll tell you why in a few minutes. So it doesn't take long to rub that butter, if you've got it at room temperature, into the flour mixture. And now I've got no lumps in there altogether, and I've got some beautiful crumbs which are almost like the peach. Next, I'm going to make a well in the center. And this is where scones are different to these strawberry shortcake biscuits. Because in scones, I would put an egg in there and I put some milk in there and start mixing this in. Now, I'm just going to put some cream. So I have a cup of cream that I'm going to pour into the middle there. And I put a little bit of vanilla. Oh my gosh. Look at that. And this is vanilla paste. It's not vanilla extract. Don't use vanilla extract. It's nasty. Vanilla paste is best. I'll put a link in the description. You can buy it at places like Costco, World Market, those sort of places. Or just order a small one online. Really, really good. And the vanilla just gives this amazing flavor. Once the cream and vanilla's in there, we can just start mixing all this together. Just stir it round. And by adding cream in there, instead of the milk, what you do is the cream is really high in fat, so it coats the flour. I know this is technical, but it coats the flour, and so that stops the gluten from sort of expanding. And when that happens, it makes really buttery, crumbly biscuits, which is what we're looking for. Once you've got it all mixed together, onto the table, and some flour. Now, it is quite delicate, it is quite soft, and if it's too soft, you can actually put it in the refrigerator for a little bit just to set up. I've got a 2-inch cutter here. You can use whatever size you want. If you don't have the cutter, you can use squares. Just roll out the dough, cut it into squares or rectangles. But I'm just going to roll this out, and I want to go carefully to about 1 inch in thickness. And as I mentioned, the gluten, what we don't want to do is just start pushing this and kneading it and stretching that gluten, because we don't want the gluten. We want it nice and crumbly in there. Dip your cutter into the flour, tap it, and then push down, and it drops out nice and easy. With this recipe at 2 inch, I'm going to get about 12 beautiful shortcakes. Once you've got your mix all cut out, put it all back together again, just work it slightly into a dough, into a ball, and then just roll that out again. And keep doing that until we get all the dough used. But don't roll too thin. We don't want them too thin. So about 1 inch in thickness. One more piece left. Here's the tip. Bring the dough together. There's only a small amount, just enough to make one more. Put the ring there, and then just push down on the dough. Lift that up, and that works perfect. That's the big one, that's mine. Now, whereas with scones, we'd actually use egg yolk to brush over the top, I'm actually going to use egg white on this one. And I brush the egg white, and then I'm going to sprinkle with some granulated sugar. If you don't want to do that, you can use powdered sugar and sprinkle that over the top at the end. Do you know that this iconic recipe, this iconic American classic, actually evolved from a dish in the UK that was English? 16th century Britain, William Shakespeare wrote about Alice Shortcake. That's where it came from, Strawberry Shortcake. Okay, enough of that. It's America's birthday, and we're doing an American classic. Forget the English stuff. Next, we're doing some sugar. Sprinkle some sugar over the top of each one. This will just give us a nice crunchy glaze. Now they go into the oven. Most recipes say 400 degrees. I don't think so. I think 350 degrees. They're going to cook for about 12 minutes in there. They want to be nice and golden on the top, and then they'll be gorgeous and fluffy on the inside. Whilst the shortbreads are in the oven cooking, about 12 minutes or so, they've got to come out, they've got to cool down and rest. I've got my strawberries, and I've already hulled them, taken off the little green at the bottom. Now I'm going to slice them. Now, again, some recipes say you need to do this 8 hours before, the day before. Again, I don't agree with that, because what happens is, the next stage is we add some sugar into them. And what happens when you add the sugar is it draws all the moisture out of the strawberries. And so they start to soften a little. You get that beautiful syrup that runs into your strawberry shortcake. But if you do that too soon, if you do it the night before, if you do it, in my opinion, an hour or two before, they go soggy. And one of the worst recipes, the worst strawberry shortcake that I've ever had in my life, was I went to a potluck party and they served angel cake and dream topping, seriously, and canned strawberries. And that's what this would look like if you put the sugar on the strawberries too early. So toss that together, let it sit for about 30 minutes, 40 minutes, and they will just start steeping all of those gorgeous juices. They'll be beautiful. You can put a bit of vanilla in there as well if you want to. Once they come out of the oven, they're nice and golden on the top. That sugar has crusted into the egg white, which is perfect, just what we want. And if you pick one up, it's nice and golden on the bottom, and they're so light and buttery and fluffy. I mean, you could just eat these on their own. They're just gorgeous. Oh, that's mine, the big one. Crunchy on the outside, nice and soft, buttery, fluffy on the inside. And look, let those cool down. The strawberries have been macerating. They're still nice and firm with their shape. But look at the juices. Look at those strawberry juices. I mean, that running into the shortcake is going to be delicious. Let those cool down. I'm going to whip some cream. Once you've got the cream whipped, once you've got your strawberries macerating and your shortcakes have cooled down, then we can start assembling. Now to assemble, I like to use a serrated knife, and I cut in just about halfway and then open up. And when you do that, look how soft and crumbly that is in there. But when you do that halfway and then split, then they don't collapse, they don't crumble. If you take one and just cut all the way through, you push the back out and then they don't look so good. So halfway and then split. This is so soft in there and crumbly. One more, gorgeous. And now we can assemble. So here's my tops, there's my base. And I'm going to put a little cream on the bottom. Don't be too heavy because we've got to put lots of cream on there yet, and the berries and everything. Also, don't go all the way to the edges because we want the juice from the berries to go over there too. So we can just spoon this over the top. Already look, the juice is running down, but that's okay. And that's why I'm doing them on the tray. First of all, not my presentation plate. Pop those on. Look at that beautiful strawberry juice running out into the cream. There we go. Now, if you want to put more strawberries on, you can do. You've got to be careful. But then a little bit more cream on this one, on the top. But use heavy cream. Don't use dream topping, miracle whip topping, because they're all nasty. And no. It's America's birthday. Sandwich them together. Look at that. How easy is this dish to make? This is going to be the pride and joy of the potluck dinner you're going to. Right, let's plate them. Strawberry shortcake, America's iconic dessert. And some people make it with pound cake, some people use angel cake, but my homemade buttery biscuits, they just make the best, the most incredible, the most delicious, yummy biscuits, deservedly of America's birthday. America's 250th birthday. Happy birthday, America. Oh, where do you start on these? I could eat all of them. They're gonna win any potluck. They go first, right? Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. Give me a thumbs up. Leave a comment below. Let me know how you do your strawberry shortcake. And if you make these, let me know how they went down at your potluck party.